find our website. Note the email link to request our online Friday newsletter. Please silence your cell phones. Visitors, we welcome anyone who is here for the first time or maybe even the second time. If you are comfortable, please step up to the microphone and introduce yourselves. Oh, come on up. You can start here? Yeah.
I didn't know that I would be standing at a microphone. My name's Paul Buse, and relatively new to the area. Never have been a Unitarian before, but was curious, so I thought I'd stop by and check it out. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So for the announcements, see the printed order of service and the newsletter for additional events and details. Join us the first and third Tuesdays at Poppleton Creek Park at noon for our brown bag lunch. This park is down the street adjacent to the dog park. I think it's like that direction. The 10 a.m. Sunday morning meditation sessions have concluded for now. A big thank you to Ken Textera, I don't know how to say your last name, and Karen Olish for facilitating these. We will have a new sign-up sheet in the lobby as we approach the fall. Please join us for coffee, tea, and cookies over in the social hall after the service. And a big thanks for those who helped with the service today: Jackie Robbins on cello, Sandy Craig on piano, and leading the choir. Our greeters Janet Grote, Judy Bazoris, Judith Watt, David Gray, and our ushers and tech support elf is Corina Poloni, and our backup tech, Alistair Forrester. Our hospitality team is Joanne Leone, Margaret Gregory, Jackie Buckley, and Florence Treacle. Our Reverend Bob MacDonald is in the pulpit today, and here's our prelude. Thank you, Jackie. For our chalice lighting, here today in this place and with these people, may we listen so that we can hear, may we hear so that we can feel, may we feel so that we can know, and may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. That was Why We Are Here by Eric Wilkstrom. For the opening words, one of my favorites of all time, it's by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow road, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other just as fair, and perhaps having the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. As though as for that passing there, had worn them really just the same. And both that morning equally lie in leaves, no step had trodden back. Oh, I kept that first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Okay, for our first hymn is actually hymn number 1. Stand if you like.
18.
Okay. Oh, I see, hymn number 1, oh, 18, I'm sorry. It's number 18, What Wondrous Love. Let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love, spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great to dwell together in peace, with the truth and love, and help one another.
I go to these words of Thoreau pretty often. 660 in the back of the hymnal, we'll read responsively. To live deliberately. Why should we live in such a hurry and waste of life? We are determined to be starved before we are hungry. I wish to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life. Learn what this life has to teach, and not when I come to die, discover that I have not lived. I do not wish to live what is not life. Living is so dear. Nor do I wish to practice resignation unless it is quite necessary. I wish to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. I want to cut a deep, to drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. If it proves to be mean, then to give get the whole and the genuine meanness of it, and publish its meanness to the world. If it is sublime, to know it by experience, and to be able to give a time account of it. Thoreau. And now, matters of joy or sorrow, we invite you to come and share yours, and we hope that you will know that you are heard and supported as you do. Who wants to come to the mic and tell us a joy or sorrow?
I'm Marguerite. I've been in touch with Kim Emmons. She is a new and very active member. Unfortunately, she fell off a ladder and did a huge job on her foot. She told me that she's going to have x-rays next week, and then they will decide whether they put a boot on it and when she can put weight on it. In the meantime, I think it'd be very nice if we all send a card or get well wish or call her. We have a new directory, so her address should be in there.
Kim Emmons, we wish her the best. Anyone else?
Shari Louise was here, worked on setting things up in the kitchen, but she's got something minor that she's got a little cough, so she went home, but wanted to let you know she's still with us.
I have several joys in my life, but I'm just going to talk about one of them, which is that I got to see a bunch of my colleagues and my students that I've mentored play the other night, and it was one of the best concerts I've gone to locally, and that's saying a lot. My sorrow is that the concertmaster came over to me and told me that two of my colleagues have passed away in the last couple of weeks, and so I will be playing something in D minor, for those of you who know that that's the Judeo-Christian key, and it won't be depressing. It will hopefully be enlightening. But that's how I express myself when I can't really speak.
Jim.
Good morning. My name is Jim Rose. Jay and I had the pleasure of going to see Kitty Rowell last weekend over in St. Pete. She sends her love to everybody. She said when she first arrived, she thought, oh my gosh, maybe I made a mistake. But now she's settling in, and she's getting her house set up, and she kind of found a Unitarian church that she's gonna go to, but hasn't been there quite yet. But I told her that we would share the joy of seeing her with you. Thank you.
We miss her. Judy, back after a long trip.
Yes, that's the joy, is John and I had a wonderful trip. Went to Ontario via South Bend, Indiana, and then back down through Annapolis, Maryland, to see our friends and family there. The sorrow is that, well, yesterday I got bombarded with a little bit of news, and so I'm just asking for your thoughts to the universe for my brother and his daughter Bridget, who lives with him. She's just fit to be tied because he's not in good shape and he's not cooperative, and my sister lives next door, and they have a kind of a contentious relationship, and her husband just got home. My buddy and brother-in-law Gil just got home from rehab after he had broken his hip several weeks ago, a couple of months ago. It's just, I'm thinking maybe I need to go help my siblings a bit. I am the baby, believe it or not, of the family at 79. Wow. So anyway, thanks for listening.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say that I'm back on my treatment, and I'm feeling good, and I want to thank everybody for their support. It really, really, really makes a difference, so thank you.
Glad to hear that. Sandy?
Hi, I'm Sandy Craig. I have a sorrow. My nephew, my sister's son, went out for an early morning jog yesterday morning. He was on business in Houston. He was hit by a car and was John Doe in the hospital till 3 o'clock this morning. He's in ICU. He has a traumatic brain injury, along with many, many broken bones and many, many injuries. We don't know if he's going to survive, and my brother-in-law is en route to him as we speak. Please keep him
Sandy,
in your thoughts and prayers.
that's awful to hear.
Well, I'm going to start with, I'm Judith. I'm going to start with the larger sadness, which is all the people living in Los Angeles. That's the big one. And there's a personal one, is my stepson is suffering from something very similar to what Cindy is going through. And at the moment, he is essentially living on other people's donated blood until hopefully insurance company will approve a very new experimental drug. David and I have been spending a lot of time with him and his one pussycat. So we hope everybody gets better.
Okay. Anyone else? Then we always move a stone for people we don't say out loud, but we all have people we are concerned about. And this meditation is from the hymnal attributed to Sophia Lyon Foz. It matters what we believe. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Other beliefs are expansive and lead the way into wider and deeper sympathies. Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Other beliefs are like sunshine, blessing children with the warmth of happiness. Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Other beliefs are bonds in a world community where sincere differences beautify the pattern. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Other beliefs are like gateways, opening wide vistas for exploration. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Other beliefs nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal worth. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. Other beliefs are pliable, like the young sapling, ever growing with the upward thrust of life. Sophia Lyon Foz. Moments of silence. Spirit of Life is hymn 123. We hum it once, we sing it once. We may remain seated or stand, whichever we want. Hymn 123. Here, the Spirit of Life we experience together is also the spirit of generosity. And so at this time, the offering time, we invite your generosity so we may continue our work here. And I need 2 willing volunteers. Oh, here they are. Ask and ye shall be given. part of our generosity thing for the next few weeks is going to be raising money for emergency relief to the central part of the country. I've been calling it St. Louis because I think of that as central. But the devastation has been immense, and the UUSC has an emergency relief fund. We have given to them before to put to the best use, and we're asking people to give what they can. It's over and above your pledging to the church. And we'll put it together and send it there and trust that it'll get to a needed place. I'm saying to mark the envelope or the check in the memo St. Louis, but that's only to designate it as central part of the country. I've lost a coffee can. How can you lose a coffee can? I've lost the coffee can that I've used up here many times to solicit questions from you, questions for me to work into a sermon. So next week, I'm hoping to have a coffee can with a big Q on the outside, and you can, between now and next week, think of a couple good ones, topics, and plan to bring them to my coffee can. I'll find it, and I'll need you to put some ideas in it. I do this every 6 months or so because I need some poking, you know. Okay, so you have homework, and I have homework to find that coffee can. What do you tell people should they ever ask? What do you believe? There are those elevator speeches, more than you want to know about you in 60 seconds. They're often cute, clever, kind of canned. I go to doctor appointments with my beloved, and a new doctor this past week asks her driver, me, "And what did you do?" So I say part-time minister as he's on his way out the door. But he asks, "What denomination?" And I say, you. He comes back in and sits and says, "What exactly is that? What exactly is that?" So I say, kind of inexactly, no creed, no set beliefs. You have to bring your own and just keep searching or not. So he says, "But of course you do believe in God and heaven, right?" I say, our people believe different things. And I can't say exactly what they believe, but they can tell you exactly what they don't believe. They don't believe in hell, and they don't believe in 1,000-year-old answers. But 1,000-year-old questions are still good. Why am I here? What is the meaning of life? And do no harm is not just for doctors. How do you explain to people we believe in diversity? We believe in diversity. I try to tell people, I have friends who trusted me enough to tell me what hiding who they were, what that did to them emotionally. And I have grandchildren and grandnieces and nephews who have to be who they are. You can't be happy hiding your emotional life. Nobody should need to do that. But it's not easy explaining to people religion is not just about a few things like beliefs, or even 10 things like commandments. It's about loving. And you never are as good at that as you want to be, or could be, or will be. So it's a journey, not a destination. Diversity is our foundation. It's certainly under attack today, not here. And this is Pride Month. I'm proud to have found a denomination that doesn't discriminate against people because of who they are and whom they love. I trust we are all proud of that and grateful for the people who fought for their right to own who they were and our right to. In light of these realities and continued struggles for people we care about, I'd like to talk about the roles religions have played in these pathways to awareness. Two voices I've mentioned here often come to mind. Karen Armstrong, great religions historian, wrote that several world religions discovered at about the same time, about 700 BCE, about 3,000 years ago, that God and religion were essentially about compassion. I think it remained a well-kept secret, except for a few lone voices and practitioners over 3 millennia. The other voice I hear is that of the planner and major funder of this new sanctuary. Before I knew about David Craig's dream here, I went to the hospital, I think this must have been 2014 or 15, to hear about his failing health. And instead, I got a talking to about our future health prospects here at TCUUC. He heard us bemoaning, agonizing, why can't we get families with beautiful little ones to come through our doors and stay? He went on to say, most people become UUs in the second half of their lives when they realize the role religions have played in dividing people, and they decide to try a religion that doesn't. Now, I don't want you to think, I must be in the second half of my life. You're probably more like the second quarter or third. For most people, religion is something you get from your family. It's kind of a family tradition. It is at least potentially a good sense of hand-me-down, hopefully something to build on, not to smother. Because my family didn't have any, we got to pick and choose and discover on our own. I'm grateful there were a lot of Jewish kids in my high school in Troy. They took academic achievement pretty seriously, and I did. So we competed and became friends as well. I didn't learn much about Judaism, but I did learn that those kids were pretty much like everybody else. One of the kids was the rabbi's son, and he had a friend whose father managed the downtown cinema. We got free tickets, or no tickets. We just got in. Now, the early 60s had some of those so-called biblical epics. Samson and Delilah, Bathsheba, revealing, but not about religion, not to us teenage boys. Later, of course, we learned about the deeply entrenched anti-Semitism around the world and the silence of Christian churches. And the fictional musical Russian fiddler and wanderer Tevye put it well to his deity: choose someone else. In the Methodist college I attended in West Virginia, my college sweetheart and first wife was from Western Pennsylvania. I went home with her on weekends to get to know her family, and in the Methodist church they were very active in, I listened carefully to the sermons and heard this phrase from their beloved minister. The phrase was Christians and Catholics, Catholics and Christians. So I asked around the dinner table, what did that mean? Weren't Catholics Christian? I got the answer, they were, but a lesser brand, since they were beholden to the papacy. Methodists in Western Pennsylvania. I'm sure that's all changed. This was not long after the first Catholic president was elected against the advice of the prominent Protestant minister, Norman Vincent Peale, who said a Catholic president would be too loyal to the Pope. What struck me was the tendency of religions to self-promote by conveying a sheep versus goats divisiveness. What the psychology author Eric Berne in Games People Play called "Mine is better than yours." Sheep versus goats. I thought of that when we stopped in Oman and somebody was letting people hold a baby goat around their neck for $1. So Lori had to have that picture, and fortunately she did not say, make the woman an offer. She didn't want to buy the goat, she just wanted the picture. And I could also hardly think, what did Jesus mean by saying the good people went with the sheep and the bad people went with the goats? Well, he was from a sheep herding society. It could not have included that little goat. It was so beautiful. The history of religious wars right up to the present one in Myanmar, majority Buddhist against minority Muslim, shows that the sad history goes on. It's usually more about power and land than religion. The sickest seems to be when one religion claims their country is mainly for them. That happened recently in our House of Representatives, when a Sikh chaplain, is it Sikh or Sikh? I'm not sure. Google didn't really straighten me out on that. A Sikh or Sikh chaplain was invited to invocate, do the weekly invocation to get Congress going. They need a lot of prayers to get Congress going. Sikhs are from Punjab, India, and by some counts number up to 500,000 in the US. So a Sikh chaplain was a guest. But soon a voice in the Congress was heard proclaiming that this country was founded on Christian principles. And that's the voice and prayer that should start off each week in the halls of Congress. Our founders were well aware of Christian against Christian bloodshed in Europe's religious wars and wanted to prevent that in this new country. So, no established religion. A church history professor in that West Virginia college delivered breaking news to him and to us that Christianity was dying in Europe, and especially in Italy, home of Catholicism, and in Germany, home of Martin Luther. Cathedrals like Notre Dame, that in flames a few years ago brought tears from the world and funds from the world for rebuilding. These are historical, cultural phenomena more than religious. They are beautiful, but they are more cultural than religious, or so it seems to me. In many parts of the world, religion and culture seem one and the same. I felt that way about Israel and the parts of the Palestinian West Bank we were allowed to visit. Deity and land were pretty much connected, one and the same. In many parts of the world, shrines for burial, not necessarily in what we would call cemeteries, often along bus routes, you see an area of shrines, pretty well tended, pretty well put together, to connect people to their ancestors. Religion does seem to do that, faith of our fathers. In Japan, we stopped at a port city, and right around the port entry into the city was tourist stops. And we thought, well, let's walk farther, and we found a neighborhood, which was interesting to walk around. And on the corner of several blocks in the neighborhood, like a 10 by 10 on the corner, a beautifully manicured garden and pictures. One was so beautiful, we stopped and just took it in, and there was a young man there. He was taking it in also in reverence. So I just said to him, so beautiful. And I think he said back to me, grandmother. In South America too, we found areas on the bus routes that had like small shrine burial places where I assume people could gather and remember. And in so many parts of the world, Uluru, the beautiful red rock in the center of Australia, Angkor Wat in Cambodia, I think it was Hindu to start, Buddhist shrines in Cambodia, places to go and think about what you revere and to work on what you reverence, what you revere, and maybe by implication, what you don't revere. How do we convey to people that we revere diversity? We revere honoring people who are different because we all are. We all are. What else do we revere? Questioning is encouraged. Please plan to visit my coffee jar next week. Judging is discouraged. Certainly this is a place where we work on and help each other work on what we revere and reverence. Mark Twain once said, if you travel, you can't remain small-minded. Rick Steves says, travel for personal growth. Well, he's a travel agent. He would say that. Travel for, not to put down travel agents, you know. Travel for personal growth, get outside your comfort zone, and you grow. He was on PBS recently giving that lecture. The world and the world's religions teach us diversity, and we get it, and we want to try to keep getting it better. The closing hymn is number 95. And after these words and the postlude, our joy will continue in our time together in the other room. Refreshments and go at each other. This is from a Buddhist reading in the back of our hymnal. Be ye lamps unto yourselves. Be your own confidence. Hold to the truth within yourselves as the only lamp. Buddhist reading.